Before I explain what BioGUID.org is, I should first explain where it came from. The similarity to Rob Page's BioGUID site is not a shameless attempt to flatter one of the judges for this challenge, but neither is it purely a coincidence. For many years, I've been trying to make sense of globally unique identifiers within the biodiversity informatics realm, attending various workshops and participating in various discussions. One of these discussions, which happened to include Rod Page, had us both contemplating a general system for cross-linking identifiers of biodiversity data in a shared and easily accessible way. With Rod's blessing, I registered the name BioGUID.org with the intention of building a generalized identifier index and cross-linking system. But for the past few years, I never seemed to have found the time to build it. Well, inspired by this GBIF challenge, I decided to finally get off my duff and, along with Rob Whitten, build the service that's been knocking around in my head for all these years. To put this project in context, it's important to understand where biodiversity data are. The world's biodiversity data are scattered widely across the internet in specimen collections, literature, databases about literature, databases about taxon names and taxon concepts, observation databases, genetics databases, multimedia databases, the internet websites, and data aggregators. And the myriad databases that store all this kinds of identifiers. In an ideal world, all of these datasets would share identifiers, but after years of discussion within the community, very little action has taken place to make that happen. The first implementation of an identifier service that Rob and I developed was a feature on the ZooBank pages that allowed establishing related identifiers and displaying them in icon hyperlinks. For example, this ZooBank record for a name is cross-linked to all of these other external identifiers. This publication has links to the equivalent record in many other databases. Of course, ZooBank is not the only system that attempts to cross-link records. Many other systems that link out to other websites, like these Global Names Index cross-links, Encyclopedia of Life partner links, NCBI's external information resources through their linked out service, Worms cross-links, and many others. However, many of these are not actual identifier links. They're just links to the search services, representing soft links rather than direct identifier links. And in cases where websites do take the time to establish direct identifier to identifier links, they all do it in different ways and use different repeating efforts to create them. The idea is that it serves as a global index of identifiers within the biodiversity domain. It has three main functions. First, it's a global registry of identifier domains. There are over 250 registered identifier domains already, and we hope to expand this dramatically by allowing people to create them themselves. It's an identifier indexing service. At the time of this submission, there are over 1 million identifiers included in the system, but we hope to expand this by over 3 orders of magnitude within the coming months. And third, it's an identifier cross-linking service. For example, ZooBank has an identifier for this species of fish, and so does the Catalog of Life. We can think of these two identifiers, but that's only a start. If the Catalog of Life identifier is also linked to the BOLD database, and the BOLD database is linked to the NCBI database, then BioGUID can cross-link all of these identifiers to each other as representing the same object. Millions, if not billions, of data objects of all sorts. BioGUID currently supports these 7 identifier classes for 20 different kinds of data object types, including all of the Darwin core classes. In months, we will continue to expand the system to include more content, support for bulk record services, both uploading and cross-linking, and APIs to allow web pages to embed cross-linked identifiers on their own home pages without having to reinvent the wheel each time. Consideration, and please consult the documentation on the website for additional information on how the system works.